the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Thursday rendition of Stand Up a Date. We've got a kick-ass interview for you, but we always have to do the good old-fashioned intro, get everybody's takes for what we're doing this weekend, as well as give a shout-out to our friends over at Seed Money Consulting. Tax season is almost over, so stay true, stay strong, members of the Big Five that are listening to this podcast. We're with you in spirit. But at the same time, if you are maybe on the other end of tax season and you see that deadline rapidly approaching, reach to the professionals. I don't mean those dickheads at TurboTax or those idiots at HR Block. We mean a local firm right here in Denver called Seed Money Consulting. Sam Shahab and the fam over there are killing it. They work with folks that are small to medium-sized businesses, folks that are, one-man operations. Maybe you were a 1099 for about 50 different weed companies last year. Whatever your scenario, no matter how unique, they have the ability to make sure you don't leave money on the table during tax season. Don't give a government interest-free loans. Don't have anything about that. If you're looking for a return, make sure that they can help maximize it. And maybe you don't need help with taxes, but you need help planning for the future. They have all of that and more at Seed Money Consulting. Just do the old Google, Seed, S-E-E-D, Money Consulting. SeedMoneyConsulting.com. They've been working with us in the studio and the podcast and all things of that nature, and we're stoked to have them as a sponsor of the pod this tax season. Check out Seed Money Consulting. All right, Chris, how are you today, Big Bear? You ready to do a little ice cream review?
I love ice cream.
I'm
so ready.
Yeah, Sam Rose of RoseBud Ice Cream is our interview after this. He brought us some samples to try, but we didn't want to glaze his donut any more than we already were with this podcast. So we waited till we kicked that guy out of the house. Then we made a bowl of ice cream and we're doing this intro. So for those that don't know, RoseBud Ice Cream you can find across the metro at the Whole Foods, but you can also find it at Lever's Locavore. There's 5 or 6 different flavors, some of the hits, some of the some new age flavors. Chris, what was the one that tickled your pickle the most?
Surprisingly, out of the flavors we tested today, I'm gonna go with the strawberry.
Ooh.
I'm not that big of a strawberry ice cream guy, but I felt like against the other flavors we tried today, that one had a good texture and a really strong strawberry flavor. Like you can definitely tell there's real fruit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that one was a step above the rest for me.
Okay. And Eve, I saw this was the most talkative you've been in a month of Sundays, ice cream Sundays. Thank you. As a Mainer, what was your ice cream growing up, and what was your fave here today?
We didn't have like a go-to. We just went to the grocery store because it was like too expensive.
Your parents never took you out for an ice cream cone? That was out of the
budget? We rarely ate out. Like, it was pretty crazy.
I don't think we were big ice creamers either. I was a Coke Icy at the gas station.
And like Cold Stone was like more in high school when it popped up.
Yeah.
And
like Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors?
We didn't really have, I'm not saying it wasn't there, but that wasn't really around as much as it is now.
Do you have a TCBY up there in Maine?
No.
We had TCBY and it was near our house, but I don't know if that did it for us. I feel like we were all, we talk about it on the pod later, but Bluebell was king. We were grocery store folk as well. What was your go-to flavor when you were on the frozen aisle?
Okay, as a kid, I did a lot of cookies and cream.
Okay.
Yeah, that hits.
We're like twins.
Yeah. I still enjoy it, but definitely as a kid, I think that's the one I got the most.
Well, of these small batch, for those that do weed and wine and craft cocktails or beers, we'll call this small batch ice cream. What was the flavor that really tickled your pickle?
Surprisingly, it was the mystery flavor. And usually I'm not a mystery flavor person, but there's some, it's like fruity, but I don't know what it is.
It was the Midnight
but
Daydream
it's not
is
too
the
sweet.
name of it.
Yeah.
But we can't put our
I don't
finger
know,
on
I don't know what it
flavor.
is. I really don't. But I'm intrigued, and I'm still thinking about it.
And I'm guessing if that was like kind of the push behind this flavor, just to keep people guessing, job well done, Rosebud.
It reminds me a little bit of that Airhead, not in the sweetness
Yeah, a
flavor,
little, yes.
but it's
I know
got
what
the
you're talking
mystery aspect where I'm like, what? I can't place this on my tongue. And it
Yeah.
may be the fact that, my beak is busted or my taste buds have been scoured off by cigarettes and drugs over the years. But at the same time, it's delicious. And I just can't figure out why I love it so much. And so we'll get Sam's opinion on all the flavors. It's a great episode. But we've got a little bit more to talk about besides ice cream. I had the greatest fucking lunch in a hot minute.
Do tell.
There is this sandwich at Mac Fam on 1st and Broadway across the street from Punch Bowl Social. It's called a Zheng Bin. Zheng Bin, and it's a steak sandwich that is wrapped in a scallion pancake. So not like a burrito, closer to a quesadilla, but no cheese. It instead has a thin layer of egg that's almost the same thickness as the scallion pancake, or at least mine was, and then it's stuffed with bean sprouts, cilantro, hoisin, and sriracha sauce. So it was just kind of oozing with flavor, and every bite had almost all of the taste buds or all of the profiles, as well as this texture from the bean sprouts that kind of like crunches through as if a lettuce or a nice bread was there to kind of bring it around like a toast. Holy fuck, Chris. I wanted to lead the episode with it, but we did just eat a bunch of great ice cream, so I had to let everybody know.
How thick of like a scallion pancake?
We're talking thinner than my wiener. It is so, it's like a quesadilla of vibes. They're not bigger than or thicker than like a fluffed up tortilla. They're thinner than a gyro, maybe a little bit more than a flour tortilla.
And then the egg is just kind of like...
It's on the same layer of the scallion, and then they load the steak and the bean sprouts and the cilantro, and they kind of like fold it over and give it a good crispy boy. Hit it with some hoisin and sriracha. Chris, I'll put it on the social media tomorrow because I don't think we can wait any longer. It is that fucking good. I'm sitting on an A+ sandwich, and it's only $13. Lunch is definitely probably easier to get into than happy hour or dinner when everyone, the floodgates open. And with them just doing walk-in right now, walk your ass over to Mac Fam and get it, or drive. Whatever you have to do, this sandwich is a banger. It's a certified banger. I'm giving it a 9.1. I would have sex with it tomorrow. So we have two things we have to talk about while we're still on food and dank eats. There's some new restaurants that have opened up in your area. I'm hearing great reviews of Gusto's Italian. They have a fried carbonara. Maybe we do a group trip over there next week sometime. Also, I have yet to see Dune 2, but we do have to talk about The Bachelor. And have y'all watched the Nickelodeon stuff yet? It still makes my skin crawl.
I'm planning on doing that tonight. One thing I forgot to mention I just found out about today was the incident at Pizzeria Leopold.
Yeah, the car that ran into the window. They can't catch a fucking break over that.
Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, I just don't... How could a car run... You have to, like, go through the parking lot. I don't know. But hopefully, like... the community will show up for them and help them because sounds like it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, and if y'all don't know, they have great pizzas. I think Chef Long from PKR was just saying it's his favorite pizza on the Eat Denver blog. And we've talked about their sandwiches as a recent, like literally last week. It's excellent dining. So whether you have to do takeout, park in the parking lot, go grab it. I don't know what all the intricacies are. Maybe we'll do a little reading in the process of the next couple minutes. But if y'all are looking to support a local business this weekend, Pizzeria Leopold could definitely use a little help from the community. It's a great call.
And their spicy...
the Diablo sauce is so fucking good.
It's fucking spicy.
Yes, it is. Your taste buds will wake up. Speaking of restaurants that need our support, I did a protest yesterday just by myself outside of My Neighbor Felix. And I want to give a shout out to those in the community that came out to support us as well. Dee, Kayla, Eric, Jamie. We met Gwen and Rachel. Random people, I don't know their actual last names, but I want to say thank y'all for supporting Alma Fondafina and kind of playing along with our goofy little protest. If y'all are genuinely wanting to do another one, I'm down. It sounds like if we do it on a weekend, Y'all just say the word. I'll be there with bells on. But either way, we hope everyone has a great ass weekend. Is there anything else we need to? Oh, TV, The Bachelor. It actually finished strong. None of these girls had a lot of malice towards the dude, which means he was either really kind or.
Was this guy a good dude?
It
Was
sounds like he
No,
is.
you watched the show.
I did watch.
Did you see anything that you were like,
No, and he actually like refrained from like leading them on. Like he wasn't telling girls he was in love with them. And I
Okay.
don't know if he fucked all of them that went to the fantasy suite with him or not. But everyone's saying like one girl self-eliminated late into the season and still had the nicest things to say about this guy. It was like almost nice to see them kind of coexist and like obviously it's a fucked up way to date, but to not see it be so combative. And then it ended with how I thought a really cute couple. Like he didn't really sandbag any of these girls. And then at the after party show, they wished each other well. She was like, I wish nothing for the best for you and insert girl's name here. And it wasn't as catty at manufactured drama as much as years past. I'll give it a 7.6 out of 10. Maybe a 7.4. It's somewhere in that range.
okay.
Settle. It wasn't bad. You know what is bad, and I'm sad that we haven't talked about it in more detail, is the Nickelodeon documentary Quiet on Set. Also, P. Diddy's on the run. I don't know how. And the Kate Middleton thing, I think I'm on the right side now.
No, you're not. Oh my God. And I got messages from Fat Guy yesterday.
He's the craziest one of them all.
Well, he just does. Yeah. I mean, it checks out.
Yeah.
But obviously, he thinks I'm a spy for the royal family and Eve's impartial and you're full-blown conspiracy theorist.
Your middleman Dan over there?
Really?
Kind of. Well, like
I was kind of like,
you weren't buying it.
No, I wasn't.
Like it's the dumbest thing. Like
Okay, I think she's
there's
sick.
no way you legitimately think she may no longer have a pulse.
I think no, I don't think she's dead. I just think that they ended up like making multiple videos and then having them interlapped, and or I think it's suspicious that Prince William was not sitting next to her at minimum when she made this large announcement.
No, it's her diagnosis. It was probably her choice because also if he had sat next to her,
it was definitely not her choice.
yeah, no, I bet she was like, no, I don't want you sitting next to me. Because also, you know, if he sat there and did the wrong expression while she was talking about her cancer, people would nail him to the cross. Like, I feel like she was just like, no, this is about me. Or some PR person was like, no, we just want you. Because people have been talking about Kate more than him, even though they thought he was like cheating on her.
Well, he's a philanderer.
Well,
with Miss
maybe.
Rose of Canterbury or something like
Maybe.
And
that.
also,
But,
it
you
was
know-
probably
Bear.
it was probably more geared. Obviously, it's more geared to the British people, and like they probably just wanted to hear it straight from her rather than have a member of the royal family sit
I think
there.
she does have cancer, which breaks my heart, and I do still wish
she
her
does.
well. I'm not saying that she's dead. I think she has cancer. I just thought it was sus. And it's not like they've been, if she had a PR person, where the fuck were they the last 4 months?
I mean, they've obviously fucked up.
Yeah, and
but
so they have not
it's
given
the
us
royal
any
family,
like
so.
reason to trust them after their last 7 botched attempts of trying to like get the word out. They're like, this is 7 pictures put together of all the kids. Like,
Sure, yeah, they botched some things.
so I'm not going to give them just like a full like scope of faith in this one. Be like, oh well, now that it's a long-winded video with a cheeky accent, I'm still on the fence. But I know she's
Wow.
alive. All right, so we have a great interview. We went long on the intro as we always do. I just love goofing off with y'all. Next time you hear our voice, all 3 of us together, we will be in a car in Johnstown, Colorado, doing weird shit like eating barbecue and talking about our favorite potato chip we found today. I look forward to the Bucky's draft as our April draft. Eve, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm ready.
Chris, are you excited?
I'm so excited to be.
He doesn't even
in,
know
like-
what to expect. You didn't look at pictures.
Dude,
or
you're going to
anything,
love
right?
this.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been, so I'm super excited, but I'm more excited
Yeah, but people are
about us
posting
being
stuff.
in
I want
a
you
car.
to, like-
Like, this is our first road trip.
We've got a great interview with Sam Rose of RoseBud Ice Cream. Make sure you use the full title when you Google it. Trust us. It's a kid. We laugh a lot. He's a hoot and a holler, and he's a local to Denver, making some really kick-ass ice cream you can find in grocery stores. So stay along for the ride. Let's have some fun, and until next week, stay high. Oh wait, I think I say it at the end of the interview.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you all have a great Thursday and Friday. Stay high and stay hungry. Cheers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another kick-ass interview of Stoned Appetit Thursdays. This time we are sitting down with Sam Rose of RoseBud Ice Cream. That fourth voice you heard is our guest on the pod today, Mr. Sam Rose. He says he's worried about the future. You shouldn't be, motherfucker. You sell ice cream. You should be stoked that it's fucking 70 in February.
That is true. And yeah, ironically, one of our earlier catchphrases was that the future is frozen. And now I'm kind of like, it's warm, but it's ice cream weather. So.
It's all right. Our tagline used to be no vacancy Colorado, but then Trump made that like a real thing. So we were like, never mind. Stay high, stay happy, stay hungry, whatever. Just don't use that one anymore.
Yeah.
So it's all right. Everyone can pivot no matter how long we get into it. But Sam, we like to start every episode the same way. Chris, you can take the reins now.
Sam, are you a transplant or local here to Colorado?
I like to think of myself as a local of anywhere I go. But I'm from Chicago.
You're not, but you weren't born here in Colorado.
No, I'm from Chicago.
Chi-town.
Yes.
Hey, what brought you out here?
I was trying to start a weed company.
Can't do that in Chicago.
Not in 2016.
Right.
When I finished school, I was trying to start the world's first THC-infused ice cream.
Okay.
And failed successfully at that, and now I have an ice cream company.
Okay.
Okay, so
How
yeah.
did the failures lead to success? Tell us more about the pit, I guess, like speed bumps and things. Like, I'm more curious about that aspect, not your success story, but the failures.
Yeah, my failures lead to more failures, whereas
Here we are.
You seem to have a successful failure.
I was going to say, that word success is still pretty foreign to me, but I can tell you about the shit I've been up to lately. The goal was to start a THC ice cream company. I was originally trying to open a dispensary. I went to school 2012 to 2016, and in 2015, 2016, took entrepreneurship classes about developing a business plan, and I was going to open a dispensary called RoseBud, and I pitched it to this guy who spoke to one of my classes, and he was like, you're 22, I'm not going to invest in that. You should probably get your life together and stop getting high. I was like, maybe.
It's part of my business plan, bro.
Yeah.
Look at us now. Look at us.
So
Fuck that guy.
That's what I've been saying. But my friend and I were getting high after that, going against his advice. And my friend made a joke about starting a THC-infused ice cream shop. And then he laughed, but I was like, that's a really good idea, so I should go do that. So I finished school, bought an ice cream machine. First job out of school was actually in an ice cream kitchen, trying to figure out how to make it for real.
What's the steps involved in getting from, failed cannabis dispensary to, okay, ice cream? When you're like, okay, this has got some legs. You're in 50 fucking stores across the country now, but it took there's a long road, and that's why we have you on this podcast, is to hear about it.
Yeah, I was making recipes in my mom's kitchen, trying to make ice cream with my buddy. She was just like, okay, sweetie, sounds like a fun, good luck. And
Love the mom voice.
yeah.
Love it.
So we started working on recipes, and I just told my dad when I moved out here I'll be retired by 26, and I turned 30 on Sunday. Still working. But I went from making in my house to then going and getting a job at just a local ice cream shop to be the ice cream maker. And they actually fired me because I was like, one day I'd like to start a THC ice cream company. And they're like, we don't trust you with our highly secretive recipes. It's like, no, I won't touch your shit. And
that's Cold Stone you're talking about.
For codename Cold Stone, we'll go with that.
Codename Cold Stone.
And so, I just continued to pursue that. I was trying to raise money it's really expensive to start a weed business, which is something I learned once I already was trying to do it. And starting an ice cream company is also nearly impossible and super difficult. So marrying the two is just a really great idea for someone who has no real world experience, which was me at 24. And then eventually these guys we were trying to get money from to invest, who had talked to us about it from 2017 to 19, pulled out. And my business partner was like, hey, the CBD thing is legal to sell in grocery stores. And unlike dispensaries, they already have freezers. So then we officially launched as the world's first CBD-infused ice cream brand back in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you did almost get to the top of the mountain.
I think we kind of got ahead of ourselves a minute. Why ice cream? Like, are you just a lover of ice cream, or
That's
like?
a great question too, Chris.
I mean, at first it was just something because nobody was putting weed in it. And through my journey of like pretty early on realizing that's what I was going to pursue, I did grow up eating like more ice cream than anyone should. I lived 3 blocks away from like 2 different ice cream shops. And like a lot of like the question I ask in my sales meetings when I'm meeting with buyers is like, what's your favorite ice cream memory? And like I'll ask or think about it because we'll come back to that one. But I have a lot of fond memories of like I was on a basketball team that was defeated one season, not undefeated. We were 0 in like 16, and we had a game where we tied, and it was such a big celebration. The whole team went and got ice cream afterwards. So it's like, yeah, there's lots of memories like that where it's like you're having a good one, you go celebrate with ice cream.
Celebrate failure.
Bad day, celebrate with ice cream. So, yeah, the concept was like anyone could put weed into shit and anyone can make ice cream that's okay, but I'm going to make it the best it's ever been. So, yeah, it was just about making the best ice cream anyone had ever tried.
Okay, so let's ask you the question. Besides the fondest memory, what are the best? What entails with the best ice cream? Because I'm not a savant. Chris is a lover of the cream. That's what we've always called him, at least. And so,
Do love cream.
yeah, what's the differentiator? Seeing as if it's just a normal ice cream, like how do we choose one over another? Is it the fresh fruit, or do we not include fruit in ice cream? It's got to be like a chocolate. Like, what do we look for in a primo ice cream? Does it have to be $22 or stand outside to get it for $1 once a year?
I would say RoseBud is worth $22, but we decided to do everyone a favor and make it cheaper. So you can thank me for that
Cool.
later. But
I appreciate that.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. If you remember, like the brands I grew up eating, that was kind of part of it too. Of like, I grew up eating, whatever, say Breyers.
We were a
like,
Bluebell family.
Yeah,
We
It was
had a lot of
southern-
Breyers.
We were a southern. It was right there in Texas. They had listeria like baked right into the cream. It was nice.
but like the brands I grew up eating, by the time I was a senior in college, I was kind of like, this shit is whack. Like, I remember eating ice cream as a kid, going to shops, and it was better. And then like, what's in the stores is kind of shitty. So I just wanted to do something better. Like Breyers, the reason I bring them up is it's technically not classified as ice cream.
Because there's not enough cream in it.
There's not enough butter fat and there's too much air. So that's why it tastes the way it does. So like what makes real ice cream is butter fat, for one thing. A lot of brands try to get away with putting like 10% in. We use 14%. So it's like literally classified as super premium, which just is a really sick description of like what it is.
Right.
But it's also like the specific classification. So yeah, we do use real fruit in the strawberry. I mean, the vanilla recipe that you guys will try took me 5 years. The chocolate took me 6. And part of the reason the chocolate took so long is just because the first time I gave some to my mom, she was like, oh, keep trying. I was like, the fuck?
I love this accent.
God, your mom seems to be real sweet with her, like, just put downs.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
keeps
my
it
dad
real.
used to be like, do you think I was the smartest kid in the class? No, I worked hard, so you work hard. And I was like, wait, did he just call me not the smartest kid in class?
Yes, he did.
So, but he said it in a more direct tone. Your mom seems to kind of sugarcoat it. Which,
She's just upfront, but doesn't want to make me feel bad. But
yeah, that's much nicer.
yeah.
So I guess, like, so if we're getting down to, like, the nitty gritty on ice cream, if somebody's using, like, the minimal amount of, like, butter, fat, cream, all that, does that just lead to, like, kind of like that kind of dissolving texture where you don't get a lot of...
Yeah,
Yeah.
melts a little bit. And like there's the other end of it too. You could go as high as like 18 to 20% butterfat. And in all the years that I was playing around with making ice cream, I was just like really trying to impress myself and overcome the voice in my head that's like, it's never going to be good enough. You're like, okay, I have to try really hard, I guess then. But yeah, like 18 to 20% I think tastes chalky and it makes your mouth feel kind of gross. So that's getting to the happy medium of just the right amount, because it's like not just the vanilla took 5 years and the chocolate took 6, strawberry took 5 too. Not just because it's like I don't know where to get stuff from. Like I had a source on vanilla after 3 years, but figuring out how to put in the right amount so that it's not too much, not too little, the right flavor is on display. It doesn't just taste like some sugary milk. Like that's where it becomes more of the balance.
When did you officially launch?
Yeah, I launched in technically November of 2019. We were in 3 stores in Denver as a CBD. We had our launch party in October 2019, without having it.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, people were like, "Where can we find it?" And we're like, "Check in soon," because we weren't in stores when we had the party. And then I put a 3-week notice in February of 2020. I was like at a ski house with all my friends, working on a Saturday while they were skiing. And when I finished working, I was getting high in a hot tub, and I was like, "Fuck this shit! Like, I hate my day job. If I just teach boxing to pay my bills and work on the ice cream company, I think I'll unlock true happiness." So I had that moment, submitted my 3-week notice. My last day in the office was March 16th of 2020, which is great timing to lose.
Pandemic.
Yeah, I lost,
Way
yeah.
to go, Chris.
lost my
I
health
figured
insurance.
that out when he said February 19. I was like, our February 20. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was like, health insurance, everything?
Yeah, I lost that, and I turned 26 the next week, so I got off the parents, or wasn't eligible for that. But I promised myself I would get into 10 stores, and it was really rough the first week. Like, somewhere in a journal it's written, like, if I just lock myself in my room, I'll call stores until we get 10 stores in March. And then the first week I'm calling people, like, having this whole, like, on another level, like, breakthrough. I'm like, I'm a happy guy now. This is my dream. Hey, you looking for some ice cream? They're like, no, we're not sure if we're going to stay open. I'm like, okay, thanks so much. It's so nice
My
talking to
ice
you.
cream will help.
Yeah, and it did. We got into 10 more stores. But yeah, so I'd say March of 2020, because that's when it really got going. And since then, we ditched the CBD, and there's a story behind that too. But we are now in about 110 stores, launching in another 30 next week, and 110 in Northern California in about 3 weeks.
So how many states are you in?
Around about 10.
He's in Louisiana, aren't you? I
Rouse's.
saw you at
Why
Rouse's.
not? Why
That
not
was right down the-
Alabama? What's your beef with Alabama?
We're in 2 of their
Oh,
stores.
fuck yeah. Okay, I was just making sure.
Someone didn't read the rundown.
Big ice cream fans in Alabama. No, okay. So one other question I have for you is, did you not want to open like a storefront ice cream where I can come in and like get sample scoops and then?
It was kind of considered with like the weed angle, because it was like in 2018 there's some laws that allowed on-site consumption, but it didn't make sense for us. And then like by the time we were launching, we just were so bootstrapped that I was like, I can't afford a lease, and thank God I didn't open a shop because
Hospitality, you wouldn't have ever gotten that license. They would have just tied you up in years of rent. You'd have been like,
Yeah.
our friends that are sitting in the same camp right now, and it's like impossible.
Yeah.
You made the most right decision ever.
Yeah, and I mean the idea of having to pay rent on a place where it snows and has like seasonal ice cream kind of stuff, or like you don't see people lining up at shops in like January too much.
I mean, I think you could still sling some ice cream if you wanted to open up a shop now that you kind of have a little more of a foundation. I think you
yeah.
could do
you
some
take
numbers.
vacation. You know, like I remember Licks would always go on vacation in like
February.
February.
They're
Or
like, we're going to
something like,
fucking Florida.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we're on a 2-week bin. But see, if you don't have an ice cream shop, then people miss out on having your ice cream in a waffle cone. And waffle cones are big for me. That's just
I
So
should've
Chris
brought
is going to
some.
leverage you for this throughout the day. But one thing that leads me to is you mentioned strawberry chocolate and vanilla. Let's talk a little bit more detailed candies and things of that nature, because I know Chris likes some unconventional but beloved flavors in the community, like the coffees and things of that nature. What other kind of flavors outside of the traditional 3 add ingredient are we working with, or what do you have coming out of R&D? Do you need some help? Do you need Chris's help?
Yeah, maybe we could host a party together. I'll explain the process.
We'll bring weed and we'll do it here.
Sounds like a deal. Yeah, we've
Ice
got
cream socials for adults and kids.
fucking a Sunday station. Love it.
Chris is a wreck for those that are listening at home right now. Wait, no, tell us a little bit more about the flavors.
Yeah, we've got 7 of them. We have the classics, which we've covered, and then we have Kofif, which is our coffee flavor.
Kofif.
Covfefe.
You get it? The Twitter
It's a reference to
Yeah.
a tweet from a former president.
the coffee.
Anyways,
Hey, this is a social media company, and I'm the only one that's chronically
Yeah.
online. It's okay. I get it. It's their coffee flavor, and I think that's really
Okay,
cheap.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up later.
world's best coffee. It gets called that every time we sample it. And then we have Midnight Mint, which is mint cookies and cream. That one took about 3.5 years to get the recipe down.
Is it
What took so long on that one?
Perfection takes time.
the mint? The
You're-
mint's a
you're
tough
real-
aspect.
Yeah.
Is it the juggle of like
You
how
don't want it
much
to
mint
taste like
to chocolate?
toothpaste. You got to
Yeah.
find the right source. You got to find out how much to put in. Because, like, there was a batch, like, when I'm doing this, it's just, like, me fucking around in the kitchen. And, like, the first time I didn't go to culinary school. I'm just, like, a stubborn person. So I'm like, well, I'll just make it really good. And, like, yeah, there was one where I did the mint, and it just, like, it felt like I was breathing ice afterwards. I was like, I think that's too much.
Like a menthol cigarette.
Yeah.
It's like a Newport.
5 gum.
Yeah, so then we've got Moonlight Daydream, which is a rip from a David Bowie song, but that one is like up to interpretation. Citrus marshmallow, kids say it tastes like Fruity Pebbles, adults say it tastes like an orange dreamsicle. That was like my favorite ice cream as a kid.
What was it called in Chicago?
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Because
So, yeah.
I remember when we were talking, and I was like, he has a beer. Like, I was thinking, obviously, the orange citrus vibe on the Blue Moon may have come from that for the
Yeah.
beer. But it's apparently a staple in the Midwest. It's like the house flavor.
Big in Michigan, like where we would go to vacation. That's like my favorite ice cream memory is going to the dunes in Michigan, like 2 hours from where I lived, and like we'd watch the sunset and I'd have this blue ice cream. That's what the whole company is trying to give people moments like that. Then we also have chocolate cookies, which is like a cookie butter ice cream with chocolate chip cookies mixed in.
Is your mint chocolate chip, is that green or white?
No, it's not green.
I love the green one.
Well, the next three we're doing, we just so like
Talk dirty to us, R&D.
I mean, your timeline, you're like 6 years out from new flavors, it sounds like.
well, that's the funny thing. I had a poll because I'll usually poll people and we'll see like what flavors they want to see. And then in this most recent one, like literally 2 of the flavors that I've been working on for the last few years got recommended, and I was like,
We're almost there.
it's already lining up. So one of them's raspberry cheesecake.
Yes!
Raspberry ice cream with like real fruit mixed in. And again, that's
I
something that
love
makes
cheesecake.
it different. Like you can use technically a puree or like
A jam? Or
like a
concentrate?
Yeah, concentrate instead of real fruit and call it like made from fruit, which is
Yeah.
gross as shit to me. So we use real fruit. That one's raspberry ice cream made with real raspberries, and then cheesecake chunks. The other one is
I'll eat that one.
chantilly berry cake. So that one
damn.
is right now still the most in development. It's like the chantilly frosting mixed into the ice cream base with chunks of cake and like a fruity swirl. And then the
That
last
may not
one,
be for me. I don't know about that one.
It's good.
That one's too fancy for me.
no,
I like
it's good.
chantilly cream. That shit's good.
Yeah, and then the last one is coffee caramel crunch. So it's our existing coffee with vanilla wafers and caramel. How do you say that word? Caramel or caramel?
I think it's a regional dialect,
Yes.
so we don't shame people for their accents on this podcast, do we, Eve? Okay, so you've actually been a hoot to talk with because I thought it was going to be really light conversation of just ice cream, but hearing the stories of how passionate you are about it, that's really cool. Where can we get these products for those that a lot of our listenership is in Colorado, whether it's Denver or along the Front Range?
Yeah.
Are you just peppered throughout?
Yeah, we're across the state with Whole Foods. So we're in like all of their Colorado locations. You can find us in Lever's Locavore here in Denver. They're my first store that we ever got into and still one of my favorites to work with. And then you could also get us delivered now throughout Denver Metro and Boulder on Pine Melon. And then we're in about 5 regions on DoorDash. So if you have their DashMart app or like in DoorDash, you can just look for RoseBud and you should be able to get some delivered right to your door. It's really cool.
I dig it. I dig it. All right. So now that we've gotten all that shit out of the way, we have some questions that we like to ask all of our guests on the podcast.
Okay.
So take off the ice cream hat. This segment is presented by our friends at Dialed In. Not only did we do the Wake and Bake special with them in Black Box, great croissants. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to track them out. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. And Dialed In is celebrating their 1-year anniversary in their new warehouse. So you can find them across the state, and they are presenting this segment. The first question, you want to do appetizers, dinosaurs, Last Supper?
Let's do dinosaurs.
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Velociraptor.
Why?
Do you know that they're actually the size of chickens?
I would take it, but they're fierce. Agile, speed, power.
I think
Vicious.
Jurassic Park may have misled you. We're going to get you this cool book that we have learning about dinosaurs. They were about the size of your knee, and they kind of resembled a modern-day chicken. They were not nearly as crazy as they were portrayed in the movie.
I know, but a T-Rex is like an easy go, and they also may have been scavengers, is what the arms indicate. So I don't want to be the guy who's like going out there picking up the scraps. I want to be the motherfucker getting it.
Okay.
Team mentality.
There you go. Hunt like in a pack. Yeah, there you go. Next question, Chris. Superhero?
Yeah, and then I got a odd question to ask. Okay, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I don't know. I think like a major, like a real superpower, to quote Spider-Man, if I take on too much power, then people will start expecting shit of me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go getting beat up for like no pay. So I do enough of that in boxing, I guess. I don't know. I think flight's not that cool to me because like how fast you got to go like to get from here to say Europe, and I'm like, do I get tired holding my arms out? Maybe teleportation because it's a little less effort.
You're really breaking down the
He's
science.
sorting
like,
it through
am
right
I
here
gonna
on the
get
pod.
fucking tired? If I could fly,
My
I mean,
shoulder. What if
what's
I
my-
tear my UCL? Am I going to be able
Or
to
like if
fly?
I hit a
distance.
bird or something and that fucks
Yeah,
me
then
up.
you're fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. And super strength is in theory attainable with roids and shit. So
That's one way.
yeah, I maybe
Teleport?
teleportation.
That's, I think, the proper answer because you don't have to think about I-70 traffic ever again. You know, so I think teleportation's the play.
Okay,
sucks the life out of you.
here's an oddball question. If we were Ben and Jerry, what would be the one thing you would want to tell us about ice cream?
I don't know.
Are you not a Ben and Jerry's fan?
I can respect the hustle. They got sold for $228
There's
million.
not one ice cream in this world you like besides the ones you make.
No, I do. I just don't want to give them my airtime.
Touche. Well done.
Yeah, like fuck those guys.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
and
if-
you're in Whole Foods. Yeah, you're probably sitting on a shelf next to him.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I don't want to mention a good one that's not mine.
If I could talk to Ben and Jerry, I'd just say, hey, I've got this really cool idea if you guys got some money to invest.
Like,
mean-
been there.
Yeah, we've sent them many emails about that. But yeah, Ben and Jerry's is pretty legit. I'm now scared to say if it's good. Like, do we hate Haagen-Dazs? Do we fucking hate those guys? Because I feel like they're in that Breyers camp of just like the bottom barrel. You can get them at like the basic price with Bluebell.
Yeah, I mean, they're billion-dollar corporations, so do you want to support them or would
Absolutely.
when you
Not.
can help me pay my rent?
Yeah, good job, Chris.
No, I'm just
No, we alley-ooped it.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's cooler. When you buy RoseBud, you're investing in a young entrepreneur's success.
Was that your business tone?
Yeah.
Okay, love
No,
that.
actually, if I call people...
You have like 6 or 7 accents. I like it. You've
Yeah.
been a very fun guest. It's been enjoyable.
yeah.
Should we hit him with the Last Supper now?
I think
to
we
wrap
have
things
to.
up?
We have
okay.
to do a Last Supper.
Yeah, because this will be exciting to get your response. So, okay, this is the Last Supper. You can invite 3 people for your Last Supper. It can't be friends or family,
Okay.
but they can be living or dead. So, who would you invite to your Last Supper? And don't think about it too hard. Just first things that come to your mind.
Yeah.
And what would you have
Definitely would be a pizza party.
with ice cream? Obviously. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And bowling?
No bowling.
Okay.
Not a fan.
It's okay.
Roller
Just kinda
skating?
Yeah,
Maybe
you
have like
painted
a bobble-
perfect little party right there.
No, maybe we'd be box seats for a fight. That'd be like my dream scenario. Yeah, not ringside with the pizza. That'd be a little much, like passing it and shit.
Yeah. Okay, so who's joining you?
Maybe, I don't know. I never had a good answer to this question in any format, but maybe Jim Morrison. That'd be a fun party.
It's a good answer.
He is probably a good party.
Let's see. I think it would be cool to have, now that he just died, maybe Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed.
Yeah. I instantly think of Arrested Development. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where he's Carl Weathers,
Yeah.
acting coach.
And I honestly, I don't know. Maybe I think it'd be cool to have someone like Brad Pitt there because I feel like he could level everyone out. He seems like a really cool guy to get stoned with.
Okay.
And then he would probably be, seems like a cool dude.
What ice cream on your Last Supper? Like what flavor of ice
like a
cream are
Masters
you eating?
Champions dinner.
I mean, it's going to be samplers of each.
But what's your favorite?
What's
If you could only choose one ice
Blue
cream
Moon?
flavor for the rest of your life,
Yeah, I'd probably go with the vanilla or the chocolate just because, like, the extra stuff gets a little much.
Okay.
And, like, simplified. I mean, I look at the vanilla as kind of being like a mixology ingredient almost. Like, it needs to be good on its own, but it's like if I'm going to make an ice cream cocktail of sorts, like, it has to be really good to stand on its own, but bring out the flavor of everything else and bring it all together at the same time. So, yeah, I can make sundaes, shakes.
He's the
do a
glue
lot with
guy.
it. Yeah.
Every locker room needs him before they win a championship.
Yeah, y'all needed one apparently when you went that defeated season.
Yeah. Like, we just needed quality ice cream to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to make me start thinking about what was my favorite ice cream experience, and I'll text it to you because that's actually a great question. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. For those that are listening at home, and they're like, okay, I got to check this guy's ice cream out. I got to check him out on the social medias. Give Ray a quick rundown where they can find you online, whether it's website, social media, that much, and then a quick repeater of where folks can find you in stores across the country. You mentioned a couple new spots, so for those that are listening outside of the state, maybe where they can find them as well.
Sure, yeah. So you can find us on Instagram and Facebook under @RoseBud Ice Cream. I think we're at RoseBud Ice Cream 1 on TikTok. Not really on there very much. If you are looking for like a full list of where to find us, you can go to our website and do that. RosebudIceCream.com, not Rosebud.com. Those are pocket pussies. So
I wasn't going to bring up the
rosebudicecream.com.
term, but I knew this whole time. I was like, I wonder if he knows.
Is that the name of a company?
Yeah.
Well, there's a term for. Okay.
My friend, yeah, my friend sent me a link one time. I was like, "Hey, we don't really talk like this, man. What the fuck?" And he's like, "No, dipshit. Look at the name of the website." It's like, "Oh, well, I need to update my URL plans." So, rosebudicecream.com. And yeah, if you're looking for it, you can find it in Colorado, Whole Foods, Lever's Locavore, get delivered on DoorDash. If you're in Southern California, find us in Gelson's, Bristol Farms, or DoorDash. And then you can find us at some other spots throughout the country and look at rosebudicecream.com on exactly where those are.
Yeah, shout out to Rouse's in Louisiana. We used to shop there all the time to get our groceries in Uptown. So you can find them across the country. Rosebud's Ice Cream. Sam, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Until next week, y'all stay high, stay hungry.
Cream.
Midnight Mint.
Cheers.